Be gone, you garbage. In today's video, I'm going to be giving this car a much needed upgrade on a couple things. One, on this camera, which I'm going to show you which not to buy, and which one is certainly much better off, and I'd recommend you buy. For you guys that don't really know much about where I work at, I work in Ponte Vedra, Florida. Actually, I'll take a second to show you. This here is the back of my warehouse. It's where we actually do the shipping and keep the stuff, and where I do some of the videos and that. It's pretty nice here. Unfortunately, it's like middle of February in 2014. It's freaking cold, man. Sunshine State, I don't know. And this here is the trailer trash, which lives in the back behind the alley. But it makes for a good sunny spot for me to do my work. But anyway, enough of me. This car here is it's a Chrysler 300, and a couple things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to pull out these lights. I'm going to show you how you can wire up the reverse signal input for a reverse light camera, and I'm also going to show you if you have some nasty bulbs like these here. These are some, let me put this down here, maybe I can show you a little bit more clear. An 1156, which is a standard light bulb, which just looks like crap, especially for these types of lights. These are the aftermarket LED style light housings, which you can buy in the aftermarket, which looks so much better than the stock stuff. So to use these plain Jane bulbs, which die and just look pretty yellow and urine-y colored and nasty, I'm going to replace these with some of these brand new LEDs, which I picked up from a guy on eBay. So they're just standard 1156s. I'm going to show you how much better these things are going to improve my life, make my lights look so much nicer. So we're going to do that. And also, let me show you the camera. This here is a Boyle model. It's a VTL 200, I believe. This is the bar style camera. And look at this thing. Look at it. It looks like shit. It's all corroded and it's ugly, man. Look at that thing. It looks like it's missing everything except for barnacles. It looks like it was in the ocean. The picture is super foggy. It looks god-awful. But doesn't even have the reverse line grids, which I like. This here is a plate which actually we sell. They come from a generic Chinese overseas distributor, and this here is a CMOS type of day and night camera. See, it's got the 4 LEDs in there. It's got the wide angle lens. It's also adjustable. These 2 screws, you can move the camera up and down. And this one here, unlike this piece of shit, actually has the grid on it, so it shows you how far from the objects behind your car you are. The good news is that the plugs should be pretty interchangeable directly, so it makes my life a little easier. But here we go. We're going to wire this thing up and do a light upgrade. Those of you who aren't, electrical geniuses and do this kind of stuff on a daily like I do, like a lot of my subscribers and people just watch me all the time do. Like most cars, there's these little twist-off deals, which you're going to find either usually 2 or 3. What you do is you just back those all out, and then I'll go to the front side of the tail light, and just basically you pull it right out, and it's all plug and play, so you can access all your bulbs. It's really all there is to it usually. This vehicle, there was 3. There was one up top. You can see the little stud sticking through. There was this other stud right here, and hiding behind this panel, which I just pulled, there's another guy right back there hiding. So this is a total of 3 to pull this light housing out. So now that I got those 3 out of there, all it should be is just pull on it, give it a little tug, straight as possible. And there you go. You can see that there's these little plastic pieces which keep it straight. There you go. There's your 3 studs. There's your light. Nothing to it. Look at the difference between these regular ugly lights and the LEDs. What a difference. Wow. Take a guess which one I'm going to keep. Okay, so I have now installed those LED bulbs. They're in there. Now what I'm going to do now is start to wire up this reverse lead camera. And how I'm doing that is I'm taking my test light. Now this test light here, it will actually show you what my circuit rests at while it's in the off position, because unlike a normal, 99-cent test light, this one here connects right onto my battery, so that way it's fed constant power through that circuit. So that way it tells me, like in this case, like in your case, in any car that I know of, actually, I'd have to say this is pretty much a coverall, that your reverse light, when you're connecting your camera, which your camera is only comprised of 3 connections. One is your RCA, that center pin, which is going to be your 12 volts turn on lead from your reverse light, which is what we're working on, and the outer, which is the ground. Now in this car, it's almost idiot proof. You can see that the bulb is the center conductor, and right next to it there's a black wire, which is my ground. So I'm on the center conductor, which you can see is resting at ground. Now if you're doing this by yourself, this is the way I suggest that you do it. Go up to your front of your car, make sure you depress your e-brake, because being safe is very important. Make sure your car doesn't roll. Set it onto the reverse. Turn your key to the on position, because most cars' body control modules will not activate lighting circuits unless there's actually accessory power. Now you can see that that wire that was resting at ground now switched to red. So that's telling you that that's your trigger lead for your reverse lead camera. And that's all you need to know. So that's what you're going to tap onto. Ground the other connection on the license plate camera, connect it to your video, to your head unit up front, and that's it. So let's get to the part where we actually install the cam, then test it out and show you how good this new camera works, as I'm very excited to get rid of that old piece of junk I had. Now speaking of junk, don't take my word for it, trust me, this camera has had it. Right now it's just in the regular park mode. So when I switch it to reverse, look at what I'm looking at. Right? Like, what is that, right? That's my alley. What garbage. Even when you pay good money, you think you get good stuff. In this case, folks, just like buying upgraded wires, total waste of your money. So you can see, as now I got this camera disassembled. And a quick tip, whenever you're doing these things, I find that these things have a tendency to rattle. And a really cool product, if you never heard of it, is called rubber butyl. And this stuff is just so cool. And a lot of people, oddly enough, don't even know what it is. And I'm sure, now that you're looking at it, you've seen this stuff in your car. What it is kind of like Play-Doh for adults. And you can create your own grommets. It comes on this big old roll like this. This is called RB15, rubber butyl, B-U-T-Y-L. And this is what you see from the manufacturers. All the OEMs use this stuff in the engine compartments whenever they have to get a wire through something. You have to create an airtight seal. And it's waterproof because it is rubber. And you can run, in this case, your camera leads right through your trunk. Create your own custom size grommet. Stick it and forget about it. Good little tip to have. So all I got to do is just get this camera out. This lead right here is going to terminate right down here in the wheel well. Just have to basically straightforward unplug that RCA, unplug the power connector, plug in a new one, set the new camera on, adjust it, and this is a wrap. Nice and easy, the way I like it. Just wanted to take a moment and show you this really quick. The camera is right on the other side. Now this here is that butyl I was telling you guys about. I've already pulled this off, and it's been on there for now a couple years. And it's cold, like I was mentioning about earlier. It's cold today. See, it's nice and sticky, it's gooey. Total waterproof rubber. It's a wonderful little thing. And what you do is you can just start, run your wire right through it, just with a squish of your finger. Insulate the wire completely, and push it and mold it and make it any size, shape you need it to be. Just with a little pressure from your fingers. Voila. Perfect little seal. This is just so great. And this stuff works awesome on cars, boats, RVs. I mean, I've even used this stuff at home when I'm in a pinch with sub stuff. You just got that thing and no tool works. If you look at this, actually, this here is a piece of Dynamat. And you can see that they use similar type of stuff to make their products. And that's why their stuff sticks so well. This stuff you could buy for a whole roll. 20 feet. We sell for like 20 bucks, whatever. Really cool stuff. Definitely worth looking into. I'm just about almost done now with exchanging this camera. So now my wire is out. This camera came with a female RCA. This here is the RCA that was existing from the old camera. Ta-da! Huh? And you got this little guy. This manufacturer, even as China and chickadee China as it is, they actually give you this. And believe it or not, they actually even gave me some hardware. They actually gave me a a grommet, which a real manufacturer, supposedly a good manufacturer, doesn't even give you. And that's for 4 times the amount of money. So that's not even to mention, wait till I turn this camera on and show you how it looks. You're going to be even more amazed. So you know what, folks? Sometimes you get what you pay for, sometimes you don't get what you pay for. Now we're at my favorite part of the installation. Get to play with the new toy part of the installation. Just as a recap, this here is the VTL 200. This is made by Boyo that I had taken off. And believe it or not, even being a dealer and all my other prestigious, you know, connections, I paid about $100 for this piece of garbage. What a shame. Look at that. Horrible. Horrible. What was I thinking? You know what? Learn from my mistakes, people. Look at this. This camera, $40 camera. Day and night, guaranteed. When I turn this thing on, comparing this to what I showed you before when I was with the old camera, no comparison. Just so I can go over this real quick, as I showed you, I butylled this here, so it's all sealed up. I put all my little plastic nuts and hardware back in there. Whenever you do finish your connections, I suggest using some nice wire loom. Make sure everything is tightened up on this little extension connector. Take the extra 2 seconds, you know, tape it up, take a wire tie, neaten it all up, so that way when the next guy comes in here to change a tire, you don't have to worry about something getting pulled and yanked out and coming back to fix it. Do it right the first time. Okay, so let's turn on my new toy. Shift that bad boy into reverse real quick. Now that's the way a camera should look. Look at that. It doesn't need to be HD, but it has to be clear, respectable. I don't want to be embarrassed when somebody comes in and looks at my camera and says, oh my god, you paid for that? Now this camera, as you can see, you got, I mean, this is made in Europe, so it's not to USA specifications, but over here you have 2 meters, so that's about 6 feet. Over here you got 0.4 meters, so that's about, I mean, I'm no mathematician, but around, what is that? A little over a foot. And right here, that bottom line, you're almost dead near on top of it. So this is a cool feature, and it's something I will use and enjoy. And I'm not going to come back and make a part 2 of this and show you how this camera looks at night, but I can tell you from experience, these cameras look really good. And this here, just in case you are interested and you actually want to purchase a camera like this from me, I'd appreciate the business, of course. And these are called not Boyo. This Boyo is, oh Boyo, this is what you don't want to get. This one here is an impulse rear view camera. These come in just a standard bar style, or the one with the chrome license plate frame built onto it, like the one that I installed in this car. So either way, it's a winner. Definitely a good investment, you know, something that's going to last, unlike that overpriced, you know, door stopper that I just took off. So there you have it.